Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Hope you all are doing well. Today I wanted to talk about feelings that we don't want to feel and feelings that we're afraid of. I recently wrote down listening to a Matt Kahn teaching. If you don't know who Matt Kahn is, go check him out. Amazing spiritual teacher and healer. He was talking about cravings, and he was saying, if you have a craving and you don't fulfill it, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? You're going to feel a feeling that you don't want to feel. And what's that going to do? And he goes on to say the feeling that you don't want to feel is going to give you a chance to be more unconditionally loving to yourself. And one other point I wanted to share is about cravings. Whether you're craving a food, sugar, social media, technology, a screen, social validation, a relationship that might be toxic for you. Whenever you're craving something that isn't nourishing for you and that isn't good for your soul and that isn't healthy for you on any level, the point Matt Kahn makes that I really just want to share to you guys is be rooted in your feelings, not your imagination. And this is why. The most scared part of you that doesn't know how to live without the fulfillment of your cravings is your imagination. So it's when we're believing our imagination about the craving. The craving comes in the imagination, the mind says, if I don't get this, I'm going to die. If I need to have this right now. And it creates this very persuasive, powerful, and compelling argument why we must fulfill this craving or else. And really what this is, it's the imagination that's afraid of the feeling. If you will actually go into your feeling center, you will realize that it's just a feeling and that it actually isn't anything to be afraid of. And I thought that was beautiful. And I found that my own, what his teaching really reminded me of is my own patterns of desperation. And because anytime I'm craving something, really there's an underlying desperation there. And the craving is a way of hiding from the emotional desperation that I don't feel safe enough to feel. And I've done this my whole life with relationships, definitely just with girlfriends. I've done it with gambling, because when you're gambling, you're definitely not feeling your emotional desperation. Actually, sometimes it can even enhance it. But when you're gambling, drinking has been a big one, marijuana, all kinds of things that I've noticed that I am pulled to that keep me from feeling the emotional desperation underneath that I don't feel safe enough to feel, meaning that I'm afraid to feel. And that's the point Matt Kahn really, really stuck with me that he made is when you perceive your feelings from your imagination, that's the only reason they're scary. And when we can just sink into the heart, when we can sink into our feeling center, we realize that these feelings we're scared to feel actually are our biggest gifts. They are our most powerful expressions of who we really are. And I really realized this yesterday when I turned my phone off at 4 something p.m. and I decided I'm not looking at any social media. I'm not looking at the screen at all. I'm not going to look at my YouTube channel, comments. I'm not going to look at my email, anything, I'm just going to go into me. I'm going to go into silent introspection. And when cravings arise, I'm going to experience the feeling of allowing the craving to be there and not fulfilling it. And I'm going to see what happens. Because so often on this path, I've tried to do this, but the craving has just been so overwhelming. But this really and I'm going to read it one more time. This one sentence, every time yesterday that I wanted to check my phone and just turn it on and see, did I get any validation? Did I get a comment? Did I get a new email? Did a WhatsApp message come on? Did someone text me? Did someone call me? All of this that we use our phone for validation to get that little dopamine hit. It's very addicting. I just wanted to feel, what is it like if I don't fulfill that craving? And every time it came up, I read this and I thought of this. What is it that I'm afraid to feel in the absence of fulfilling this craving? So every time a craving came up and I wanted to grab my phone, I just asked myself, what is it that I'm afraid to feel right now? And then I would just go into that feeling. And I realized the feeling starts to transform. This feeling of angst and restlessness and maybe even anger, it starts to transmute. Because really, like Matt Kahn even says, our bodies are transmutation containers. They are made to transmute and alchemize these energies we don't want to feel if we'll just feel them. And that it's the imagination that gets in the way of this process of effortless transmutation. And that all we have to do is stay in our feeling center and out of our imagination. If we can be rooted in our feeling center and not our imagination, meaning if we can live through our heart and not through our mind, then this becomes an effortless process. And our cravings, when they arise, can actually be a conduit and a pathway into our highest self, into self-realization. Because once we really allow ourselves to feel these feelings and we are not allowing the imagination to scare us into fulfilling the craving, then we become free. And that is awakening. That's what awakening is. It's becoming free by not being afraid to feel your feelings. So next time something's coming up for you, whether it's anxiety, fear, anger, sadness, grief, and you reach for something to take yourself away from it, ask yourself, what am I afraid to feel if I don't fulfill this craving? And then just be with the feeling. Go into your heart. Be with it fully. And you will soon realize, it won't take long, I promise, you will soon realize what gifts it has to offer. And when I say it won't take long, if you have a dedicated meditation practice, yoga practice, it might take 15 minutes to an hour to start feeling it alchemize. If you have a lot of repressed energy, if this is new to you, it might take a few days. If you're in a really dark place and you feel hopeless and powerless, it might take a few months. But no matter how long it takes, it's always so worth it, because this is your pathway to self-realization, this is your pathway to waking up, and this is your pathway to owning your power, meaning to really, truly knowing who you truly are and loving who you truly are. Because when you love who you truly are, you have no limitations in this reality. That's my video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all so much, and I will see you in the next video. Namaste.